everyone. Well, today we're going to plant a salsa garden together. Now, the reason why this is such a great idea is because there's only 4 types of vegetables to take care of in this garden. A full-on garden can maybe have 15 or 20 different types of vegetables. Might seem a little bit overwhelming, but we're keeping this simple with just 4 types, and we're going to plant it all in one place. So it keeps it easy to maintain and take care of. What's more, you're going to have everything you need for your own fresh, tasty salsa all in one place. There's nothing like homegrown fresh salsa. It's so delicious. It's absolutely the best, and you're gonna love it. So let's get busy. Now here's where we're going to be growing our salsa garden. We're going to be growing it in a Smart Pots container, and we're partnering with Smart Pots for this video. They provided this beautiful purple large round raised bed. The vegetables are going to be so pretty growing in here. I can just see the pop of colors against the purple. I really love this color. So this growing container has about 13 square feet of growing space, and it's super easy just to pop up, fill with soil, and you've got your salsa garden. So we're keeping it very simple. Now, one thing I love about growing in the Smart Pots containers is the fabric is aerated, so the soil drains really nicely. The vegetables don't get root bound in here because they air prune once they get to the side of the container, so they don't wind their way around and get root bound like they do in plastic pots. One reason why it's really fun to grow a salsa garden in a container is because you can put it right outside your kitchen door for easy access to your vegetables. Now, I recently just removed the old soil in this container and put in brand new soil. I absolutely love my new soil. The old soil was a really heavy clay and it just wasn't working for me. The vegetables weren't growing well. So Good Dirt sent me this beautiful soil. Absolutely love it. Now, I've used Good Dirt in my garden for a couple of years. I find the vegetables just have the loose, fluffy soil they need to grow really well. The roots don't get constricted, and the soil retains moisture like crazy, which is extremely important in our hot, dry climate. I don't have to water my plants that are in Good Dirt soil near as often. So I really absolutely love this soil. So I pre-moistened this soil, and I just need to top it off with a couple more bags and we'll be ready to plant. Oh, look at this stuff. It's so nice. The Good Dirt soil is made with sustainable peat moss that is harvested in a sustainable way. It has an ingredient called bog bits, which really helps it be more moisture retentive. And one thing I also love about Good Dirt is once you make the initial investment in your soil, you can plant in it time after time. I have some containers that I've planted in for 4 or 5 plantings. So it makes it well worth the investment. Now, the soil I just added from the bag is pretty dry, so I'm just mixing it in here to the pre-moistened soil so there's no dry spots. That way the plants have the moisture they need to get growing right away. So we've got the container topped off with soil. It is looking good. Now what I'm going to do is add my drip irrigation back in. I removed it when I switched out the soil. Now you can definitely grow a salsa garden without drip irrigation, but I love to use it in containers because it makes it so much easier, really takes the guesswork out of when to water. You can still go on vacation, and it's super, super easy to install in containers. I do like to use a separate system, a drip irrigation system for my containers, because they do have different watering needs than the rest of my garden. So I'm just going to wind my little drip emitter hose back around my container, and then we will be ready to plant the vegetables. Now, the vegetables I'm planting in my salsa garden are from my salsa seed collection. 6 varieties of vegetables, 2 tomatoes, 2 peppers, onions, and cilantro. Everything you need in one handy collection for your salsa garden. So in the middle here, I'm going to plant a tomato plant. So the tomato plant I'm going to put in here is the Golden Jubilee tomato, which is going to add some nice bright yellow color to your garden. So I started this tomato plant inside, all these seeds inside, about 6 weeks ago. And it is going to look beautiful right here in the middle. So first of all, I'm just going to dig a hole and get a little planting area ready for my tomato. And you can see how light and fluffy this Good Dirt soil is. It just pulls right out, and I'm telling you guys, it stays light and fluffy like this, planting after planting. It does not get compacted. Okay, I've got my hole dug. I'm gonna throw in a handful of the Vermistera worm castings. Now the great thing about these is they feed your plants over the long term. They're actually timed released. So as this plant grows, the worm castings will feed the roots and help it grow nice and healthy because it puts all that good beneficial bacteria and microbes into your soil. So I'm just gonna mix this around in the planting hole. Okay, it's looking good. And let's get my tomato plant out here. And I transplanted this into one of the Smart Pots transplanters, which is super handy. The sides just peel apart. The plant lifts right out. It makes transplanting a piece of cake. Wow, look at the roots of this plant. Those are amazing. I can just taste this tomato now. So we're gonna set this deep in the planting hole. Now the great thing about tomatoes is they grow roots from the stem wherever the stem touches the soil. So by placing it a little deeper in the planting hole, it's gonna help it be a really nice sturdy plant. Just fill that in there. Put my little tag in. Now the Salsa seed collection also has a really great Roma tomato, which is a nice meaty tomato and perfect for salsas. And I actually have them growing right next to the purple Smart Pots in another container. So I didn't want to cram this container too full. So we've got our tomato planted in the middle, and I'm gonna plant peppers, onions, and cilantro around the edges. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Now what I'm gonna do is dig my holes for my peppers. I'm gonna plant my peppers around the tomato plant. And we're gonna be able to plant quite a few peppers in here because peppers you can actually plant pretty closely. I'm gonna plant them about a foot or so apart. They actually like to be touching as they grow because it helps shade the peppers once the peppers come on from getting sun scald. So I'm gonna put them maybe 8 to 12 inches apart. They don't need quite as deep of a hole. Now let's get these peppers in here. I love growing fresh peppers. They're so colorful and so beautiful. This garden is gonna look absolutely amazing. So the first one we're gonna pop in is the cayenne pepper from the Salsa seed collection. This is gonna add that nice spicy bite to our salsa. I know a lot of you guys like spicy too, just like me. So you are gonna love this pepper. It's a beautiful, long red pepper and ornamental as well as super, super tasty. So I grew these in peat pellets originally. You can still see the shape of the little peat pellet here. And I just transplanted them out into this container about a week or so, just to give them a little bit of extra room to grow. And next we are going to plant a jalapeno pepper, which will be another nice little hot spicy pepper, more of a mild heat. Peppers don't need to be planted deep like tomatoes do. You can plant the top of the pellet here, right at the surface of the soil. And I'm putting them right next to the drip emitters so they get plenty of water. Next, I'm going to pop in the California Wonder Pepper from the Salsa seed collection. This is one of my very favorite peppers to grow. It's a bright, beautiful red color, nice and sweet, just super, super tasty, and it's going to be so much fun to grow here in our salsa garden. I'm going to put this one right in front because it's my favorite. And as these peppers grow, the leaves will start to touch and kind of shade the peppers as they start to come on. And oh, you can see there's a little flower right there already on the cayenne long slim, so it won't be long now. Got the yellow sweet banana here. I just wanted to show you guys something here real quick. There's actually 2 peppers growing here. There's the yellow sweet banana and actually 3 peppers. Peppers actually can be planted this close, and that way you get maximum production out of your salsa garden. Well, I've got a couple other varieties I'm gonna pop in here. I've got a Cubanelle pepper, a Golden California Wonder. These are in some of my other seed collections, so I'm gonna pop the rest of the sweet peppers in on this side and a couple more hot pepper varieties on the other side. We've got 8 pepper plants in here and a tomato plant. So it's starting to look really good. Now you can see there's some mounds of soil, a little bit of extra soil from where I pulled it out of the pepper holes. So I'm just gonna lift up my drip irrigation and kind of smooth it out just to make it look a little bit nicer. So far we have 2 of our 4 varieties planted, our peppers and tomatoes. So it's all right here in one place. It's going to make it really easy to maintain. Now if you don't have this much growing space on your patio or balcony, you can definitely do a salsa garden in a smaller container. Maybe you only have this much space right here. You can grow it in a small 5-gallon container. I've got 2 pepper plants in here. You can even get a couple of these going with your onions, your cilantro, and your tomato. So it makes it super, super easy for anyone to grow a salsa garden. Well, next what I'm going to do is pop in our other 2 varieties, our onions and our cilantro, which are going to make our salsa so fresh and tasty. I'm actually going to transplant some onions that I pulled out from another spot in my garden. These are the bunching onions, which are in the Salsa Garden seed collection. Now, if you've never grown bunching onions before or never grown onions at all, bunching onions are a great place to start because they grow in bunches and they grow fairly quickly. They're like small little green onions. They're very easy to grow and grow a lot faster than the larger bulbing type of onions. So I'm going to pull a couple of these out of here. Actually pulled these out of this very same pot. So they're still planted in the old soil. So I'm just going to shake some of the soil loose. And these were started from seed as well. I actually seeded them right here in this garden bed and they're so easy to transplant. I'm actually going to pop them in here in between the peppers. So we'll just pop those roots down in the soil. And onions you can just pull out and use whenever you make your salsa. They keep for a long time in the soil. And look at the roots here. Those look fantastic. You can even clip the tops off and use them for green onions in your recipes. Now with onions, you do want to kind of leave the bulb sticking out of the soil a little bit. And don't worry about it when you transplant them if they kind of flop over, because they will definitely perk right back up. And they can also be grown very closely together. In fact, I forgot, these are bunching onions. So I'm actually going to plant these together in a little bunch. They grow great close together because they're just small little bulbs. And I promise you, these will perk back up once the roots kind of get established. The great thing about onions is they're easy to grow and they're pretty much indestructible. So they're a great vegetable if you're a new gardener to start with. Now that we have our onion transplants in our salsa garden, I'm going to plant some of the bunching onion seeds so that when these onions are harvested, we'll have some more to take its place. So let's just pour these into my hand here. These are nice little tiny seeds, and we're actually going to sprinkle these around the edges of the container, and they will fill this container in really nicely over the summertime. Now, whether you're growing 8 varieties of peppers, 2 or 3 varieties of onions, or just 1, keep it simple, do what is manageable for you. And the important thing is that you are growing your own vegetables. That's what matters. Isn't this so much fun? A salsa garden is a lot of fun to grow, and I can't wait to see the beautiful colors here in the garden. And I hope you enjoy it too. Now what I'm going to do is just sprinkle a little bit of soil over the top of my onion seeds, and we have 3 of our 4 vegetables planted for our salsa garden. So you're in the right place. You have plenty of support from me and from other viewers here. There's lots of seasoned gardeners that make comments and are always super encouraging. It's a great community to be a part of. The 4th variety we're going to plant is cilantro. Cilantro is a great addition to your salsa. These are cilantro seeds from my salsa seed collection. You can see these cilantro seeds are quite large. They do take a little bit of time to germinate, so you definitely do have to be patient with cilantro. Now you can start cilantro seeds indoors, or you can plant it directly in your garden beds. And it does help it germinate a little bit quicker if you soak the seeds overnight or crush them with a rolling pin. So cilantro is a cool weather herb. So sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to grow in the summertime, but I'm going to plant them here along the inner edge of the salsa garden, and that way they get a little bit of shade and it will help them grow a little bit longer during the heat. So we're just gonna cover up the cilantro seeds with soil and we are ready to go. Our salsa garden is planted, 4 varieties, peppers, tomatoes, onions, cilantro, everything we need to grow fresh, tasty salsa all in one place. I just love getting out here, getting my hands in the soil. It's so much fun to plant the seeds, nurture them, see them grow. It's just such a great feeling of pride knowing I'm growing healthy, tasty vegetables for my family. And I know you're gonna love it too. So now I'm gonna water the vegetables in to get them off to a really good start. And you wanna water them with some type of liquid fertilizer. I really love using the Good Dirt plant food because it has the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium that the plants need. It also has some amino acids in it, which are really essential to plant growth and health. And the nitrogen in it really helps encourage the leafy growth. And the phosphorus and potassium help encourage the blooms and the fruiting. So I'm gonna give it a nice soaking here. And this is a really handy little hose end dispenser here that you can just hook right to the end of your hose and fertilize your vegetables. It mixes with water. It's very concentrated, so it gives them just the right dose that they need. A little bit goes a really long way here. Well, there you have it. Our salsa garden is planted. 4 varieties of tasty vegetables. It's going to be so much fun to come out here and harvest everything we need for fresh salsa all in one place. So whether you're planting one variety or all 4 varieties, it's great to have you here. Great job getting your salsa garden planted. We're gonna have so much fun growing and harvesting this together. So make sure you subscribe because we're gonna be coming back and doing some update videos and harvest videos. And I also wanna thank Smart Pots for partnering with us on this video, for supplying the containers, and Good Dirt for supplying the soil and the fertilizer, and Vermistera for supplying the worm castings. So I'll put links in the video description where you can find everything, including discount codes. If you want to get started, make sure you head to my website and pick up the Salsa Garden Seed Collection. We're going to have so much fun growing this together. Comment below, let me know if you're going to get one planted. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.